Hello friends and viewers, and welcome to my Coco character guide. My name is James, I'm a global player and I started Sword of Convallaria in early September 2024. I'm a strategy and turn-based RPG fan, with the Fire Emblem series, Tactics Ogre, and Unicorn Overlord being some recent titles I enjoy. As such, I lack the technical knowledge and exposure to the Taiwan and China scene. I'm also a PvE-focused player, so I have no knowledge of PvP. As a result, I'm subject to feedback and open to being wrong. If you come across conflicting information to other guides and creators in this video, then that suggests that there are multiple ways to play a character. Play your way. As a fun fact about myself, I'm also an avid Thai tea boba enjoyer. Breakfast happiness is Coco's trait. She possesses block, and her HP is increased by 20%. At the start of each round, she grants breakfast to 2 allies with the lowest HP percentage within 2 tiles of herself. After a breakfast or bento effect is triggered, the target gains happiness. This is a 100% chance at star level 5. Breakfast and bento are 2 buffs that heal and dispel. Happiness, for any character that has breakfast and bento, for all skills, happiness reduces energy consumption by 1. After that unit uses a skill, the cooldown is reduced by 1 turn, and it's removed after any action is taken. Coco's initial skill is Try the Pan. It's a single target attack that knocks target back by 3 tiles and inflicts defense and speed debuffs. You'll most likely select the skill more for the knockback effect than the debuffs. However, for any knockback immune targets, the physical defense and speed debuffs are still strong. For rank 1 skills, it's up to you to decide. For mountain tribes, while you want Coco as a tank to remain healthy, you cannot guarantee maintaining her consistently at 100% HP for the +1 move. Additionally, Coco spends many of her turns on utility skills, so the damage buff will likely be underutilized. It's not even considering the Highland height requirement. Crushing Bash offers group utility with a vulnerable debuff, especially for boss fights or priority targets. This skill has 0 energy cost, and you can hypothetically maintain 100% debuff uptime. There are few character skills that actively apply this debuff, so most vulnerable debuffs are reactive. However, you'll rarely use either of these skills long term. Mountain Tribes offers a minor HP increase, whereas Crushing Bash enables access to apply an uncommon debuff. My pick here is Crushing Bash. At rank 3, I recommend Coco's Treasure Chest with a Castalia for Potluck Protector. Coco's Treasure Chest is a multi-purpose skill, with each ability having a limited use per battle. Springing Bandage is an instant heal. As an instant ability, this means Coco can cast Springing Bandage and follow up with another non-instant ability. Ancient Potion is a larger heal than Springing Bandage, though not instant, but also restores 1 energy. Snow Lotus dispels all debuffs, grants a damage buff, damage reduction, and attribute debuff immunity for 3 turns. Hallucinogenic Mushroom deals 30% piercing damage, inflicts sleep for 1 turn, and inflicts 2 stacks of infection after sleep wears off. Potluck Protector provides additional damage reduction for Coco and assisting cover for allies, but be mindful that assisting cover can risk placing a unit in an unideal position or even put Coco in a more dangerous position. Coco's Treasure Chest offers high utility to triage multiple gaps in a given turn. Potluck Protector is still worth picking up via Castalia to elevate Coco's role as a tank and further support the party. At rank 5, I recommend Stay Strong. Stay Strong provides out-of-turn healing on Coco and another ally at no cost and scales with her HP. Activating 2 times per round means Coco can heal herself and up to 2 unique allies per round. By healing out of turn, this enables the potential to spend less time healing Coco and other units during their actual turn. Defense Ranged Attack provides range damage reduction and could pair well with Potluck Protector and Block Enhancement, but the damage Coco takes will need to be healed anyway. Coco is commonly built scaling with HP rather than physical and magic defense, so Stay Strong will elevate the HP scaling and healing focused playstyle. At rank 7, the choice is up to you. Block Enhancement enables block on ranged physical attacks, which commonly come from bow and spear users. This can pair with Defense Ranged Attack and Potluck Protector, but this doesn't mitigate ranged magical damage, which is more lethal to Coco. The strength of Battle Flag of Vilder depends on how many Vilder you roster. and the defense increase also mitigates range magic damage that block enhancement does not. If you play Lily well, also note she has a slightly better Builder aura, increasing movement by 1 tile, so this may impact your decision on what skill to choose here. My pick was the Battle Flag of Builder. For her basic attack upgrade, I recommend Armor Piercing Strike. Armor Piercing Strike provides group utility via the physical defense and magical defense debuffs. Applying 2 debuffs can also more quickly enable other characters' traits effects that have a debuff count requirement. No Turning Round has a position requirement, and its stun effect is subject to RNG. While crowd control effects such as stun is a form of minimizing damage taken, the position requirement and randomness of the skill are not worth playing around, especially if it risks moving Coco out of position. Most lethal targets will be immune to stun as well. Regardless, Coco will infrequently spend turns using her basic attack. At rank 11, I recommend Iron Pot Stew. Iron Pot Stew provides AoE healing and crit buffs, as well as Bento for additional healing and happiness assuming star level 5. Invulnerable is a strong defensive with a hypothetical 60% uptime. With Invulnerable and Snow Lotus, Coco can provide herself consistent damage reduction throughout a battle. Iron Pot Stew provides major healing and damage benefits via crit buffs and happiness to your team in a single ability. Invulnerable, by itself, is a strong defensive ability, but one Snow Lotus with Coco and a high HP pool should ordinarily be sufficient to mitigate a big single target attack. Iron Pot Stew is unique to Coco, whereas Mytha and Palpable Guard can select Invulnerable still. This is a skill build recommendation focused around HP and healing. Armor Piercing Strike, Stay Strong, Coco's Treasure Chest, Iron Pot Stew, and a Flex Pick. This skill build caters to an HP scaling, healing focused Coco, and is how I ordinarily play her. I recommend always equipping Coco's Treasure Chest and Iron Pot Stew. Your third skill slot is flexible and should be whatever is most appropriate for your team or battle you're doing. If you'd like to play Coco to mitigate damage, the skill loadout may look like this. With Potluck Protector and Stay Strong, this assumes you play Coco within a 2-tile range of your units to maximize efficiency. Preferentially, many other defenders can fulfill a tank role of mitigating damage, so I never play Coco this way. I find it more fun to play to Coco's unique strengths and qualities. The third skill slot is flexible and should be whatever is most appropriate for your team or battle you're doing, and if you want to mitigate range damage, swap to defense range attack and add block enhancement. For weapons, I recommend Brutal Axe or Hollow Axe. The HP buff from Brutal Axe will also increase Coco's healing, and Hollow Axe is a viable option to boost Coco's damage mitigation. Some trinket options include Crystal Burst Armor, Cooling Powder, Fancy Hat, and Old Scrolls of August. The HP buff from Crystal Burst Armor will also increase Coco's healing, but note she won't benefit from the Strike Back effect at all. Cooling Powder protects Coco to continue healing herself. However, note that Snow Lotus already provides protection from having healing received disabled. Fancy Hat's immunity to disrupt helps Coco continue to skills such as Stay Strong and Potluck Protector. However, note that if you have Invulnerable, if selected, it already provides immunity to disrupt. With Coco's high speed, she can use Old Scrolls of August to speed up a unit slower than her as well. For tarot recommendations, here are 3 common options. If you play Coco as a mix of both tank and healer, consider the Fool's Naivety Tarot. If you play Coco as a dedicated healer, consider Mercy of the High Priestess, but remember you'll lose out on taking capabilities, so Coco will be squishier. If you play Coco as a dedicated tank, then consider Silence of the Hermit. For engravings, the Double Pentacle Resonance has a higher ceiling for HP and defense rolls. These higher rolls, in addition to the effect, will make Coco more sustainable. If you're playing Coco as a dedicated healer, consider Double Cup. Recall that compared to Pentacle Engravings, Cup has a lower HP and defense ceiling, so Coco can be squishier. You can consider Pentacle and Cup if you need to reduce physical damage taken for a particular level. Coco can mitigate physical damage better than she can mitigate magical damage. As well, you can consider Pentacle and Wand if you need to reduce magical damage taken only for a particular battle. To provide some team composition tips, Coco's Iron Pot Stew and Happiness trait means she can be integrated in many different team compositions, so you can't make any wrong decisions on how to set her up. The crit buffs from Iron Pot Stew can most benefit Seekers, Sunbreakers, and Bow users. Energy restoration and cooldown reduction from Happiness and Ancient Potion are a universal benefit. Any units with abilities that have higher energy costs or long cooldowns will benefit from Coco. Additionally, Coco possesses Battle Flag of Wielder if you play a Wielder heavy team, but recall Lily Will provides a slightly better Wielder aura. Here is an overview of the external category buffs that Coco can benefit from. We have Lily Will's Resonance of Blood, which is her Wielder aura that also increases movement by 1 tile. Her aura is slightly better than Coco's, and having increased movement is always beneficial. From Coco to Lily Will is also a crit scaling character, so she can team well with Coco. Magnus provides Blood and Steel. Blood and Steel decreases damage taken by 10% if healthy, and he also allows any Fortitude units to become immune to the negative effect of the injured state. Magnus's leader aura makes himself and Coco tankier and more sustainable. Together, they can make a formidable front line, but damage-wise, another Breaker or Seeker can scale higher with Coco's buffs than Magnus may be able to. We also have Iggy's Horn of the Mountain, granting all Builder allies in battle move, attack, and speed buffs. Movement buffs are always beneficial, but it's not likely Coco will take advantage of the attack or speed buffs from this ability. Coco's already a high speed unit and should ordinarily start quickly in a round, so the speed buff is less likely to be useful to her. Still, if you're using this ability, you most likely have a Wielder focused team, so it's unlikely for Horn of the Mountain to be wasted at all. Like Lily Will, Iggy is also a crit scaling character, so he can also team very well with Coco's buffs. This is a quick snapshot of how I have my Coco set up right now. She was the first character I got to bond level 5. I have her at 3 stars and she's part of my memory shard group. I use the Brutal Axe and Crystal Burst Armor for the HP buffs, and I run double Pinnacle Engravings on her as well. I have the Fool's Naivety Turret for additional HP. And for her skills, this follows my recommendation: Armor Piercing Strike, Stay Strong, Potluck Protector, her Treasure Chest, and Iron Pot Stew. That concludes my character guide. As mentioned in my disclaimer, I welcome feedback and I'm open to being wrong. I'm still learning and improving at this video game, just like you. Additionally, if you find conflicting information to other guides or content creators, then that means there are multiple ways to build a character and still be successful. I highly recommend that you play your way. Here is my contact information, my YouTube, Discord, and email. And as always, please feel free to comment below with any feedback you have about this guide. Last but not least, I want to credit and share these resources that contributed to helping me build this guide. Thanks for watching.